Hey guys, how you doing? This is the 2015 Utah Utes season review. Uh, of course, I'm going to be doing predictions as well. I am a little late. Um, I am a couple days. I'm doing this video a couple days after the Utes game versus Southern Utah, and of course, we won that game 24-0. It was not what I expected. Obviously, I kind of thought we would win like 62-10 or something like that. But of course, that wasn't the case. I mean, there were some negatives, but there were a lot of positives, and one of those positives was Troy Williams. And I noticed that he's a much better passer than Travis Wilson. And the reason why I'm saying, and he's only played in one game so far, and I've already seen that he's a better passer. The reason why I'm saying that is because I noticed in the game that he kept throwing downfield quite a few times actually. Travis Wilson didn't really do that much. I mean, maybe he'd have like one or two passes downfield, 30 yards or more a game. But God, Troy Williams threw probably like I want to say like five, six, maybe even seven passes that would have gone for 30 yards or more, and he completed a couple of them. He completed two 50-yard passes, so I was very happy with that. But also, he completed a lot of pretty nice clutch, third down passes. And Travis Wilson, he struggled with those third down passes. He wasn't very good with those. Oh, and also, when Troy Williams throws the ball, he sets his damn feet when he throws it. And Travis Wilson, he doesn't really do that. And he does, this like his sidearm passes and shit. So, he wasn't always accurate. But Troy Williams, he didn't do that, and he also set his feet when he threw the ball. So I could already tell immediately that he was a much better thrower than Travis Wilson. Now I'm not going to shit on Travis Wilson because I think Travis Wilson is awesome. I mean, he's one of the toughest, strongest guys that's ever put on a Utes uniform. I want to say ever because I mean the guts and the determination this kid had, especially after coming from that head injury, and also because he has been hated by a lot of people throughout his career. And yet he still had some pretty strong performances. And I mean, he's definitely not the worst quarterback we've ever had. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's not like he's horrible or anything. It just he had some inconsistencies, but no, I like him a lot. But I noticed in the game that Troy Williams made a lot of plays that Travis Wilson would have never made. So that was one big positive in that game. Some negatives, of course, were the offensive linemen. They they didn't do a very good job. Our running game was pretty flat. I was expecting that we'd at least run for 200 yards. We only got like 120, something like 120 yards. Joe Williams had 12 carries for 41 yards, I believe. No touchdowns. I kind of thought he would just be the main starter and he would just take over, and I think he'd have a similar season to Devontae Booker where he had like 1,500 yards rushing, maybe 10 touchdowns, but by the looks of it in the first game, he's not even going to come close to that. And I mean, obviously Troy McCormick was the better player in that game. I mean, it's not like he had amazing stats, but he made some plays, and I mean, he's coming off a horrific injury he had last year, and so he still has the speed and explosiveness. So that's really good to see. Of course, one guy I got to talk about is Tim Patrick. Boy, am I happy for that guy. He's been injured for pretty much 2 years straight. I mean, he played a little bit in 2014, but of course he injured his knee or his leg, something that had to do with his leg during the Oregon game when we got run out of the building after that horrible fumble. But he never returned for that season and next season too. He was gone the entire season for 2015. But he comes back and he has a career night. 5 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. That bested his career high was like 3 receptions for 33 yards. So I mean, I couldn't be happier for him. I mean, he deserved it. So I was kind of optimistic about if he'll have like a really fantastic season. Because in 2014 when he was healthy, he wasn't like super fantastic, but After seeing what he did in Southern Utah, I've got a feeling he's gonna have a really big year. So he might even get over 1,000 yards. That would be pretty cool. So I'm hoping that happens. So Troy Williams, and of course Marcus Williams, can't forget him. Best safety in the Pac-12. Caused a fumble, got an interception. He's a beast. I mean, he'll probably have a string of like 5, 6, or even 7 straight games where he has a turnover. So yeah, there's Troy Williams, Marcus Williams, and Tim Patrick. Those guys were obviously they were the big positives in this game. O-line, of course, being the negative, especially Greg Bowles. He missed quite a few assignments, which led to some sacks, and I'm pretty sure he got a holding call too, and he might have gotten a couple of false starts. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, it was his first game, so I guess we can cut him some slack, but definitely a performance he would like to forget. But anyways, like I said before, we won the game 24-0. So it was nice to get the shutout, but it would have been better if we had a wider margin of victory here. But it's okay, we're 1-0. It's better than 0-1, so I'll take it. But next we got BYU, and it's very interesting how their schedule starts because they've got 3 straight Pac-12 opponents coming up, and I think they have a good chance at beating Arizona because obviously Arizona's the weakest team out of those 3. Their defense is just complete shit, and it's just garbage. Even our offense last year didn't really. I guess we kind of struggled, but we put 30 on them. We put 30 points on Arizona, so that just shows they're pretty bad. Anyways, of course they put 37 on us, so our defense was even worse that game. But yeah, I can see BYU beating Arizona. I hope it doesn't happen. I want them to lose. I always want them to lose. I want them to go 0-12 every single goddamn year. Anyways, so BYU will probably win this game, so we'll both be coming in at 1-0. I've seen a lot of Utes fans on Facebook talking about how they're concerned, because the offense looked very lackluster and the offensive line and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's BYU. The last time BYU was an opponent that you could be concerned about was the early 90s. Ever since then, BYU is not a team you need to be concerned about. I have a feeling we're going to defeat them even more easily than Southern Utah. Now, do I think we'll shut them out? No. But I think our offense will open the floodgates. I think we'll score well into the 30s, maybe even the 40s too. They might score a couple touchdowns, maybe even 3. They might get up to the 20s if they're lucky. But I think we'll beat them pretty easily. I think it'll never really be like in the first half it'll be close, but in the second half, it's all Utah from there. I think it'll be similar to the 2008 game with Utah and BYU, where it was pretty close through the first half, and then second half they threw some interceptions and we got it rolling. So the same thing is going to happen, I think. So easy 2-0. Third game, San Jose State. Do I really need to say much? San Jose State was one of 3 teams that went to a bowl game, finishing the season with a 5-7 record. Of course, the other 2 being Nebraska and Minnesota. And San Jose State did win. They played Georgia State. It's not like it was impressive, but they won. So, it's not like they're a pushover. They've got the talent to maybe make it like a 2-score game if they're lucky. But honestly, no. We'll beat them kind of. I think it'll be similar to when we played Fresno State in 2014. We're gonna drop 50 points on them. They're gonna score 14, 20 points, something like that. It's gonna be pretty easy. I don't think they'll put up much of a fight. They'll probably score an easy touchdown at the end when we've got our 4th stringers out there. And that's about it. They're not gonna really contribute much in this game. And then of course we got USC coming up now. Last year, we did lose to them, but this year they're coming here to Salt Lake City, and I have a feeling that we'll win this game. Now, of course, USC's in a predicament here because they've got Alabama and Stanford before they even play us. So they have a huge chance of going 1-2. Now that actually kind of scares me because I'd rather face a USC team that's undefeated than has already had 2 losses. Because I mean, obviously USC, they're not going to lose a bunch of games and not go to a bowl game. They're obviously going to win probably at least what 8 or 9 games maybe at the least. So the fact that I mean, if they already have 2 losses at the beginning of the season, they're coming to Utah, it might actually make them motivated to want to win this game a lot more than they would be if they were like undefeated or something, or maybe they just had 1 loss. So if they do come into this game 1-2, I am going to be a little nervous. I still think Utah will win though, but if they're 1-2, I think it'll be, for some reason I just think it'll be more difficult. And it'll probably be like a 1-possession game. But if they're undefeated or just 1 loss, I think it'll actually be a little easier. I don't know why. It's just this weird feeling I have. I mean, they don't have Cody Kessler anymore, which is good, but they do have Juju Smith-Schuster or whatever his name is. I don't know, but he's really good. So as long as we don't get torched by him, this should be a win for us. Probably like 31, 21, 24, somewhere in that range. So I expect us to win, and if we lose, that sucks. But so I'm thinking we start the season 4-0, and obviously we'll be in the top 25 for sure. There's no way we wouldn't be. That would be pretty stupid. But next we got Cal. Now we're going to play at Cal. Now Cal's interesting because their transfer Davis Webb, he's pretty good. He's known for passing the ball. I mean, he played at Texas Tech for 4 years before he transferred to Cal because he graduated, but he still got some playing time left, so he decided to come to Cal. And he's a good quarterback, he's the kind of guy that can easily throw for 400 yards a game. But I noticed that their defense is really bad because I saw that California and Hawaii game last week when it was in Australia. And they let Hawaii score 31 points on them. Yeah, that's just not good because Hawaii, they're not good. So I am not concerned about California at all. I think that we'll beat them pretty easily. I think probably beat them by 2 or 3 possessions. Just because it's an away game. If it was a home game, we'd probably beat them by even more. But just because it's an away game, I feel like it won't be as big, but we'll still win pretty good, I'm not going to be worried that it's going to be close. So that will put us at 5-0, and I like it, 5-0 is better than any other record, 4-1, 3-2. Why am I even saying this? You guys know this shit. Oh boy. Next game is Arizona. Here's the thing. Every year I always convince myself before the season starts that we're going to beat Arizona. I don't know why, I don't know how. I just somehow convince myself. But we never do. Which makes me think, how the hell do we beat them in 2011? I mean, where's the 2011 team that beat them? Why can't we play like them? I don't understand. They just have our number. Kind of like how we have Stanford's number. They have our number. So I'm not going to fall for that shit again. I'm not going to make the same incorrect prediction for the 4th straight time. This time, it pains me to say this, but Utah's going to lose because I have absolutely zero faith that they can even beat Arizona. Because they should have beat them last year for sure. And honestly, they should have beat them in 2014, but instead they got annihilated. Heck, in 2013 they should have beat them. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Arizona's a team you should beat, but you just can't do it. Now, I don't know why, but they just have our number. And I mean, that's like last year. One of those things that Kyle Whittingham struggles with is those November games where you need to win them because they're very important. This was a game we needed to win. Had we won it, we would have gone to the Pac-12 championship. In fact, actually, if we would have beaten them in 2014 as well, we would have gone to the Pac-12 championship. So twice in a row, we lost games we should have won because of Coach Kyle Whittingham's weird inconsistencies he has in November. And of course, we didn't end up going. So I really hope. Now, I'm actually kind of glad we're not playing them so late in the season because, if we lose, it won't be. It won't like be the end of our season. But still, I just I don't have any faith in them at all for beating Arizona. They need to actually show me first, that they can win before I can, actually think that they will win. So they need to show me. They need to prove to me they can win. And as of now, I just don't see it. So I have us going 5-1, which, like I said, it's not going to end the season, but it will make our climb to the mountain a little more harder. Not impossible though. Okay, next we got Oregon State, and I was watching Oregon State and Minnesota play a couple days ago, and they got their quarterback Daryl Garrettson, who transferred from Utah State, and I've seen him play at Utah State, and he's pretty good. He actually had a better win-loss percentage than Chucky Keaton when he replaced him because he was injured, of course. Excuse me. So I mean, he's definitely proven himself to be a decent quarterback, and he was okay in Oregon State. I mean, especially when you see how their quarterbacks did last year, because they were just awful. But he did pretty well for being his first game with Oregon State. But of course, Minnesota did get the win. So I mean, Oregon State does look better. I noticed that, especially their offense. But I still think they're probably going to go 4-8, 5-7 at best. And of course, I think we're going to easily get the win here. Probably. I mean, we should have beaten them pretty good last year, but we didn't. We kind of let them hang around at the end. Only won 27-12. So I mean, it'll probably be like a 33-17 game or something like that. Sorry, my throat is like messed up right now. Oh, anyways, next we got UCLA, and when we play UCLA, it's always a competitive, close game. I mean, there's been a couple times where we blew them out home in Salt Lake City, but for the most part, it's always been a close game. And unfortunately, I do think we lose this game. Now, their quarterback, he was pretty good last year, but he wasn't like elite. He obviously made some mistakes, but he was a freshman. But now that he's older and more experienced, I think he's going to have a monster season. And besides Luke Falk of Washington State, I think he'll be pretty much the best quarterback. And I think he'll if Utah doesn't win the Pac-12 South, UCLA will. And so because of that, that's why I think Utah will lose, because UCLA will probably make the Pac-12 South. I think they'll be a much better team than last year. So unfortunately, I think we'll lose that. And then next we got Washington. And I don't understand what's the deal with Washington. I've noticed that they're getting a ton of love and hype. And I just don't get it. I've never seen a 7-6 team get so much hype and love. That's not an SEC team. I've just never seen it. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to win the Pac-12 North and stuff. And it's like, okay, they have a fantastic defense. There's no doubt about that. And they've got a fantastic running back. But so, I mean, they had that last year and they only went 7-6. Now, are they going to improve their win-loss record? Probably. But are they going to win the Pac-12 North? Probably not. Not when you got Stanford there. I mean, they'll probably win 8-9 games, but some people are like treating them like they're the best team in the Pac-12. I'm just like, what the hell? That's ridiculous. But Troy Williams, obviously, he played at Washington for that one season. He even started one game, but that was a disastrous game for him, unfortunately. It was against Arizona State. So I think he's going to want to get revenge from against Washington for basically not trusting him to be the guy, you know, not thinking he was good enough. Luckily, of course, Utah did. Utah wanted him to be the guy and they trusted him, so very fortunate for that. So I think Troy Williams is going to come out here and he's going to ball his ass off and he's going to torch Washington. And I think we'll win. I think we'll win by probably 10, 20 points, something like that. I think it'll be an easy win. So that'll put us at 7-2, I believe. Let me make sure that's correct. Yeah, 7-2. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Don't want to make any mistakes here. Because in my other recap and preview videos I've done, I've made a shit ton of mistakes, and I went back and listened to them. I'm like, God damn, I'm stupid. Anyway, well, no one's perfect. Okay, well, next opponent is Arizona State. And we had previously struggled against them until last year, of course, when we finally got that monkey off our back. And we finally beat them. Of course, though, it was pretty close until, the last couple minutes when Devontae Booker just, carried everyone on his back and scored a couple touchdowns. But Arizona State looks really bad this year. And I honestly have no idea about their quarterbacks. I don't know anything about them. So I have a feeling that they'll be pretty much worse than Oregon State. I think they'll be at least the second worst team in the Pac-12. If not the worst. So I have a feeling that they're kind of just going downhill from now. They're going to at least need a couple years to get back to going to the bowl games. So I do think they'll struggle, and I do think we'll beat them very easily. And I do think that Arizona State will have a losing season. Probably 3-4 wins is my guess. Sorry to all you Arizona State fans who might happen to be listening to this. I doubt it, but if you are, I'm sorry. I've got nothing against you guys. I just don't see right now how you guys can win more and get to a bowl game. I just don't see it. So that brings us at 8-2, and now we've got Oregon. That's here. It's in the middle of November, so it'll probably be super cold. Might even be a snow game. That would be awesome. Oregon is not really used to that kind of weather when it comes to playing in football games, so that would obviously be a huge advantage to us. But despite the fact that they've got this quarterback named Dakota Prokop, I don't know how to say his last name. I mean, I've heard he's really good, but still, even then, I think that our defense is going to rough him up, and I think we're going to win, of course. It'll be a close game, I think. It'll be either we'll win by 3 points or by 6 or 7 points. So it's not going to be easy, no doubt about it. But I think the weather will be a factor, and I think that our defense is going to rough up Cody, because everyone's got these high expectations for him, but I bet when he actually comes against this defense, he's going to struggle. So I think our defense will do good, and obviously our offense will at least do enough, and I think we'll win, and that'll put us at 9-2. That's pretty awesome. 9-2 is, that's a fantastic record in the Pac-12, no doubt about it. Not as good as being 11-0, but still. 9-2, I'll take it. And then Colorado. Ooh. Yeah, Colorado's a very interesting team. They always hang around, They always stick around. Even with the other Pac-12 teams now, like UCLA, I've noticed that they like to hang around with them too. And heck, even they were close to beating USC last year. Like, Colorado's not that bad. So they'll probably stick around again, and it'll be another close game again. But the thing is, Colorado actually looks pretty good. They look like they might make it to a bowl game. So they could beat us. I hope not, but I think we'll win. It'll just be super close. But I think we'll finish the season 10-2, which is one win better than how we finished last season, because we were 9-3. Of course, 10-3 when we beat BYU in the bowl game. And I'm not going to make a prediction for the Pac-12 title game because I don't know if we'll make it, but I'm going to make a prediction for the bowl game. We're going to win because we're fucking Utah, and we always win in bowl games. So we're going to win, and we're going to finish the season 11-2. that is my final prediction. Um, so I think we're going to have a fantastic season. I think Troy Williams is going to be lights out. And yeah, I mean that's really all I have to say about the season. Man, I don't know why I made this video. It's 6 in the morning, so I'm tired as hell. So I think I'm going to end it now. So I appreciate all you guys who watched and listened to this whole video. I'll definitely make another video for the Utah Utes when the season ends. I'll do my recap. That's a couple months away. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves and go Utes!